Like who eats meat for 5 years and just meat and water for 5 years? You're gonna be sick, right? Because it's so extreme. Like, it's just meat, there's no vegetables. How could that possibly be good for you? Like, where do you get your fiber from, and where do you get your nutrients from, and blah blah blah. Hi everyone, welcome back. I know I went missing for a couple of weeks, so I'm here to give you a quick update about where I've been and what I've been doing over these last few weeks. So besides my full-time job and just trying to get some rest and relaxation in enjoying the summer, as you can see, my hair is pretty messy today because I was at the pool for most of the day, just relaxing and taking all the sunshine in. But besides all that, I actually changed my diet recently, and I started experimenting and exploring the carnivore diet. So how did I get started on this crazy journey, which a lot of people, I just love the reaction when I tell people that I'm on the carnivore diet. So how did I get started? Well, anyways, one day I was, scrolling on YouTube as I do, and this video popped up about Mikhaila Peterson and her lion diet, and I think the title was something like her results over the last 5 years or something like that. And I was like, oh, I have to watch this. Obviously she must be so sick or whatever. Like, who eats meat for 5 years and just meat and water for 5 years? You're gonna be sick, right? And I watched the video and I was like shockingly surprised that she was thriving on this diet, and she spoke about her autoimmune diseases and inflammation being cleared up and things like that. And I was like, wow, I was really intrigued. And I myself have an autoimmune disease called Hidradenitis Suppurativa, which is also a very inflammatory disease of the skin. I found that cutting out dairy was really helpful to me, but I still had a lot of flare-ups, especially around my cycle and like hormone fluctuations and things like that. So I was like, wow, this sounds like a great diet for me, but this is so extreme, and I'm really tired of trying extreme things, because I literally just a couple of months ago I watched another video where this guy was talking about intermittent fasting, and that's not a new thing. I have tried intermittent fasting before. I didn't try it properly for long enough or anything like that, so I was like, oh, let me give it another try, because he was swearing that you'll have an extremely flat belly if you do this intermittent fasting and blah blah blah. And I think when I tried before, I was doing 12, so eating, fasting for 12 hours and eating for 12 hours. So this time I was like, I'm gonna try 16-8, eating for 8 hours and fasting for 16 hours. So anyways, I think I tried it for 2 weeks and I did not do well. I really did not do well on this. What happened was I got to a point where I lost my appetite, and I was like, great, I don't want to have an appetite. This is awesome. So I don't have to eat. And then what happened is my blood sugar levels dropped so low that I became so sick. It took me a couple of days to recover from that sugar crash or whatever. And when I go into that state of into that sugar crash kind of energy, I become so paranoid that I just eat as much as I can to kind of like stabilize myself. And I'm like, okay, enough with the extreme dieting and crazy experiments. So when I saw this lion's diet, I'm like, nope, I'm not gonna try it. It looks great, but I'm not gonna try it because it's so extreme. Like, it's just meat, there's no vegetables. How could that possibly be good for you? Like, where do you get your fiber from, and where do you get your nutrients from, and blah blah blah. So I forgot about it, and the lion diet left my algorithm because I didn't search any further. And then a couple of weeks ago, I started seeing the videos again, like carnivore diet. And I was like watching it again, and I think I was watching the steak and butter gal. She is just so beautiful, stunning, and listening to her story of how she went from being vegan and her struggles on veganism and her skin, her skin issues, and then her transition to carnivore and how everything changed for her. And you should see her skin now. It's just glowing. It looks like butter. It's so soft and smooth and just absolutely stunning. And I was like, man, I wish I could get onto this diet, but I'm so scared. Like, I don't want to go to one extreme again and then swing back the other way and completely crash. So I was like, let me forget about it. But during this time, I kept on putting on weight, and I think I put on about 15 pounds in 3 months, which is insane because it took me during 2020, during the lockdown, when everyone was buying, stocking up on toilet paper, I was stocking up on tubs of Haagen-Dazs ice cream, and I would eat a tub a day. And I picked up over 20 pounds during that period. And then it took me like 2 to 3 years to lose 20 pounds. So for me to just put 15 pounds back on in 3 months is insane. Okay. Also, I feel like a lot of it was inflammation, because I just looked so bloated and chubby. And what was interesting is that I went on a trip to Azerbaijan in January. So my weight that I had cut down to was around 140 pounds. And I was like maintaining that for a long time. Like, it would go like 2 or 3 pounds under that or over that, just depending where I was in my cycle and that type of thing, right? So I would just kind of maintain around the 140 mark. And then it was kind of like not coming down. It was like around 143, 144, 146, around there when I went to Azerbaijan. And I was like, okay, that's fine, whatever, I'm not gonna stress about it. And when I went there, I ate like crazy. I just indulged. What's fascinating is when I came back and I weighed myself, I had lost weight after eating all of that. I had lost, and I had gone back to my exact like 140 pounds. And it has to be, I think, the quality of food, the difference in the quality of food. Back there, I feel like the products and the food were just so fresh and clean. And over here, we have a lot of processed foods, a lot of chemicals, and even in the fruits and veg thing, you get like the genetically modified produce, which is super unhealthy. I mean, I had like peppers, like green or red peppers in my fridge for months. It was actually an experiment to see how long these things would last, because they were just not decomposing, they were not rotting. So I felt like it was definitely the quality in the food, and yeah, I was just like so bloated with inflammation. And anyways, so this Lion's diet and this carnivore diet, and now I know the difference between the two, but it was so tempting to me because my autoimmune disease was flaring up so much all the time. And before, when I was cutting out dairy, that would really help with the bringing down the inflammation. Things like direct, like milk and cheese and things like that, were like more inflammatory to me than eating a slice of cake, which obviously had milk in it or butter in it. So now everything, it wasn't only the dairy or the cake or whatever. Even if I cut out those things, I was still being triggered with this autoimmune disease. And then my boyfriend said to me, you should just try eating like red meat and fats. And I was like, oh, that's called the carnivore diet. And he's like, yeah, you should give it a try. And I was like, okay, but I'm so scared. I don't want to, those sugar crashes really scare the hell out of me. I don't know why, but like, it just makes me feel so awful. Like I actually think that I'm dying, and I go into Google and type, like, search if you can die from a sugar crash, and they say like in very rare instances you can actually die from a sugar crash. And I was like, okay, I'm the rare case. I'm gonna die. So I was so scared of doing it, but all signs were pointing towards like going this direction. Anyways, so I just started slowly. I just started like super slowly. One, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna be a carnivore. By the way, I've only been a carnivore, or I don't want to say because like I realized also watching a lot of videos that there's a whole debate about whether you're a true carnivore or not. So I'm not even gonna call myself a carnivore, but just trying to eat mainly animal-based products. So I started super slow. Like I remember going to the steakhouse and ordering a steak, and I ordered broccoli on the side. So I was like, I'm just gonna do this very slowly because I don't wanna mess with my sugar levels or anything like that. And yeah, so I ate the steak and the broccoli, and I was full for a long time after that. And then I was like, okay, well, my next meal, I had some more meat, and I can't remember what it was, whether it was chicken or beef or whatever. And I just didn't eat any vegetables with it. And then I kept going. What I realized is that, hey, I'm not having any sugar crashes. Like my brain feels so different when I eat meat and fat. There's no sugar crash. Like even when I'm hungry and I haven't eaten for hours, there's no sugar crash. That was like the first like shocking thing for me. And I must say, like, these last 2 weeks have been both easy and hard in a way. So I'll explain what I mean. The easy parts of it, I noticed a decline in anxiety. I heard a term that they refer to in this carnivore world, but I forgot what the term is. Carnivore, I forget what the term is, but it's referring to that calmness, carnivore calm. I don't know what it's called, but okay, maybe I coined a new term. But it refers to this like decrease in anxiety that you feel. So there was this calmness and clarity of thought. My God, I'd never experienced such clarity before. Okay, besides maybe that one time I took mushrooms. Not sure if I'll keep that in there. But yes, there was this clearness in my head. There's like the fog, the brain fog had left my head, and everything just seemed so beautiful and clear, and my brain and my thoughts were just clear. That was amazing. What else? I started losing water weight. So like I said, it's only been 2 weeks and I've only lost around 3 pounds. However, it feels like I've lost more. I know that's just water weight right now, but it feels like my body is thinner because there's no like bloating, and my clothes fit better and I feel good, and my skin looks, I mean, I don't know, like you probably can't tell from the last video to this video, but well, maybe from the first video, my video on depression, I looked so bloated in that video. My other two videos look okay, but so I don't know if there's a clear distinction yet, because also I use lighting and things like that, so maybe you can't really see the clear distinction, but just I'm noticing for myself that my skin is so clear and it's glowing. In the first 2 days, I had this experience where when I was falling asleep and after eating like my last meal, like the dinner meal, I would feel so tired and just crash. Like I would just like pass out on the couch. And in my falling to sleep in that hypnagogic state, I felt like I was falling, and it happened so many times. Like I was falling in my sleep and then I would like jerk awake, or something, I would dream about something that would jerk me awake. And this happened like 6 or 7 times after each other. That's the first time that I've experienced I mean, I have experienced the falling thing in my sleep before, but not in succession with so many times after each other. It's a scary feeling, I don't know, but I kind of like those weird things. I like those experiences for some reason, I don't know why. And I actually heard one of the other doctors who are doing carnivore describe that. What is his name? Oh my gosh, I'm so bad at remembering names. Maybe I will put his name up here. And he mentions in his video, I saw his video a couple of days after that experience, and he said that he had experienced or had similar experiences, but this was like later in his carnivore journey, whereas mine was like first 2 days, right? If you watched my first video on depression, you will hear me talking about my experience with PMDD, or premenstrual dysphoric disorder, and my struggle every month with my emotional struggle. I happen to have both 1 week of PMDD and 1 week of my cycle within this me starting the carnivore diet, and it was hard. It was different, but it was hard. So first of all, I had my cycle for a way longer period. It was maybe 8 or 9 days compared to like 4 or 5 days of my usual cycle. And I read up on this, and it's pretty normal when you're changing your diet for that, your body's adapting. But let me tell you that I released so many, what I'm gonna call toxins or scar tissue or whatever. I don't want to get into it. I don't want to be too graphic about it, but that was one thing that I noticed. And because of my extended cycle, my hormones were all over the show, so I felt extremely emotional and weak. I felt very weak. So I don't know if this has to do with the cycle or the diet itself, but it's all connected, obviously. But I felt weak, like I had no energy. I had to take a break from the gym for about a week, and I just I gave myself some grace, and I wasn't too hard on myself. I just said I'm gonna adapt to this. But let me tell you, this is the first diet that I've been able to stick to for more than a week. I know I'm like, okay, what's today? Today is Wednesday, so it's actually been 2.5 weeks. So this is the first diet that I've stuck through for like 2.5 weeks. I think, was there another diet I stuck to more? There was a diet I stuck to for about 4 weeks. So yeah, we'll see. But this is one that I feel like I can sustain. Why? Because I don't have sugar crashes. I don't feel like I'm dying all of the time because I'm not getting enough food, and I'm able to feel sustained for longer periods of time, and I see results, and I'm not worried that I'm not losing a lot of weight immediately because I read up and I watched videos where it says that fat adaptation, which is the process where your body switches from using glycogen as fuel to using fat as fuel, that process takes at least 4 to 6 weeks or 4 to 12 weeks. And that's when your body starts burning fat as fuel. So I'm not too worried that I'm not burning fat right now, and I am still taking it slow. Like sometimes I have a little bit of avocado with my meal, or I have like a tiny little bit of pineapple. I bought 2 apples and they're still sitting over there because I haven't eaten them. Like I don't feel the need to eat them. It's been a mindset adjustment to like eat meat at every meal, because I don't know, we're so used to eating like rice and pasta and vegetables and cakes and sweets, and well, not we but me, like I'm so used to eating that. And so just to like, you know, put meat on my plate and then eat it, it's been a bit of an adjustment, but really I can't complain. It's been amazing so far, and I just hope that I say I hope I'll stick to it, but I don't have a desire to go back to the way I was eating. Absolutely do not have a desire to go back to the way I was eating or the way I was feeling or the way I was looking. So yeah, I don't know, this probably is, I don't know if I should say this, but this is probably not going to be a carnivore channel because I have so like, this is not my main interest, but I just wanted to share this with you guys. If you having problems with your diet or inflammation or problems trying to lose weight or whatever, like, hey, do you want to check this out? Might be of interest to you. Obviously I'm not a doctor, so go speak to your doctor who probably doesn't believe in the carnivore diet. Oh, and I just got my blood results. So I did my blood work. I wanted to do it before I started because I wanted like a before and after, but I couldn't get an appointment until yesterday. So my results came back today, and as expected, everything was perfect except the cholesterol, of course, because I'm eating more meat and more fat, and my cholesterol was high, which is pretty normal on this diet. And if you want an explanation of how those things work and why like high cholesterol, specifically LDL or whatever, total cholesterol, is not bad for you, then, you know, do some research on that. I've been doing research and it's like pretty interesting. I do not know how to explain those scientifically wonderful phenomena, but yes. Okay, this video is way too long, by the way, so hopefully I'm gonna chop. Anyway guys, I look forward to seeing you on my next video. Bye.